Welcome to surveying class. So this is our first lecture, lecture number 1, Introduction to Surveying. So this is the very basic course in civil engineering domain. So what do you mean by surveying? So surveying, as we know, something to measure, we call it surveying. So as we are into civil engineering discipline, so we have to construct the structures, right? Starting from buildings, bridges, flyovers, all the infrastructural projects are actually undertaken by civil engineers. So before starting into any project, first we have to make the measurements. Measurements in the sense what is the height of the structure, or what is the length, or what is the plot area available for us for the construction and all. So to measure anything, we have to use the surveying technique. So basically surveying is a technique which helps us, or which enables to measure the quantity, physical quantity. Either it may be length, height, weight, anything it may be. So if you measure anything, any physical parameter, then we call it is a surveying. And surveying is a very basic for the civil engineers, because if any construction activities we are doing, we have to first make the surveying. Means we have to measure all the dimensions, then only we can make the plans of the structure or plans of any project, and then ultimately we execute it on site. So that's how the entire process goes. So in this course, in surveying is basically a 2 to 3 credit course. So here we'll be discussing about different techniques available, or different methods available for measurement of different quantities, and how we can interpret the results. So let's get started in this course. So this is our first lecture, lecture number 1. So basically here we'll be discussing about the introduction to surveying. Means what are what you will study in this course, or what is the main objective of the surveying. So the objective of this lecture means, in this lecture we'll be covering basically the introduction of surveying part, and the basics of surveying, basically its importance, why we need to do surveying, means that is the importance, objectives, what is the objective of surveying, what are the different classifications or divisions of surveying, and ultimately the principles of surveying. So all these topics we'll be discussing in this lecture. So let's get started. So what is the first definition of surveying? So as already you have some idea about surveying, surveying is defined as the science of making measurements of earth, especially the surface of the earth, right? Because all the constructions what we are doing, so all the buildings, if you see, these buildings are actually constructed on a ground floor, on a earth surface, right? We have our earth is basically a something in that shape, spherical shape, where each distance, maybe if you take a small distance here, basically we construct our buildings, right, on an art surface. So that's why the surveying is defined as the science of making the measurements on the art surface. All the constructions are happening on the art surface, so we are making the measurements, means what is the length, height, all these parameters we are finding out. So this being carried out by finding the spatial location, relative or absolute point on or near to the surface of the earth. Basically, when you measure a distance, for example, you have given a plan of a structure. So this is a plan of a structure, right? So now, if I tell you which one is the north side of your plot, so by intuition, what we can see is, where the sun rises, that area is normally our east side, right? So from with some direction we take our reference. So where, which direction sun rises we observe in the daily morning, and in which direction sun sets maybe in the evening, that is our west. So east is rising, west direction is when the sun is setting. So this is our reference direction, right? So that's why always we specify some reference point. So if we measure any distance with reference to some other point, we have to specify. Or if we tell this is the north direction, means it is absolute, right? So we consider north direction as our primary location, and through north we tell what is the angle here. So what is the angle here? So always we will have to have some reference point. Okay, for example, if you consider like the when you going for flights. Okay, so when you are at a mid of the flight, so flight is cruising at a speed of maybe 800 to 900 kilometer at an altitude of 35,000 feet from the ground level, right? So the maybe at the middle of the flight, the pilot always announces, now we are cruising at a speed of 800 kilometer per hour, and we are at 32,000 feet above the mean sea level. So what do you mean by 32,000 feet from the surface level? Means, see, the surface of Hyderabad, if you consider on any region, if you consider, it is not plain, right? Somewhere you will find hill, somewhere you will find the valley, somewhere you will find lakes, so many things will be there, right? So which height will you consider? So because these flights will be telling like 32,000 feet above the surface level we are cruising, so which surface level they are talking about? Because surface is not flat, right? Somewhere you will find hills, somewhere you will find valleys. So basically some standard locations will be there on earth. We specify them as a reference point. So from this reference point the flight is, cruising. So that is the height they are mentioning. So that's why always when we measure the distances, so our main objective in the surveying is basically to find it out, that measurements means it's a distance or angle with the reference point. All these things basically we'll be finding out in this course. So now different methods and instruments are basically used to do the surveying, because in small scale what do we do in paper, we use ruler, right? Centimeter ruler to draw the line, or maybe we use some protractor to angle to find out the angles between two lines, right? But that is at a small scale we are doing it on a paper. But when we are doing at the earth level, like very big surface, so in that case we have to use some special instrument to do the surveying, right, to measurement. So that will be seeing different methods and different instruments to do that. So the primary aim of surveying is to measure the horizontal distances between 2 points. Means, for example, this is a plot. You consider this is a plot you have in Hyderabad or in some other location, maybe in New Delhi. So now when you want to purchase a plot, so always they will tell you, no, we have 150 square yard plot. So what do you mean by 150 square yard? Means the area of this plot is 150 square yard, or 159 1500 feet square. So maybe different units they are using. So basically we have to find out the horizontal distances between all the sides. So that is our first objective. So in surveying, basically we find it out the distance, horizontal distances between, between the 2 points basically. So the next one is measuring the vertical distances. Vertical distances means if you consider this is a building, right, or if you consider this is a hill, then how much is the height of the hill or height of the building, right? That measurement we call it vertical elevation between 2 points. So basically we are measuring the what is the distance from bottom to top. So that is our vertical points. So now the third primary objective or aim for surveying is to find out the relative directions of lines by measuring the horizontal angles, right? So for example, to find out the relative direction means maybe you have one point here, right? So this is our reference line. So from this reference line, how much angle it makes this new point? So this angle basically we are measuring. So in paper basically we measure this angle, right, using this protector and all. But in field we use some instrument, because in field you cannot use protector, right? We don't have that big protector, or that accuracy also won't be there. So we use some instrument to find out what is the angle. So you can imagine this angle, this length may be 300 400 meters. So this is also 400 meters. So this huge scale basically we are finding out what is the angle. So now our fourth objective is to find out the absolute direction by measuring the horizontal angles with reference to the fixed direction. So when we have a fixed direction, means like north, south, these are fixed directions, right? North means where, east means basically where sun rises. So you know the fixed direction of north. Okay, so from this north, considering this north, basically you are constructing the plan, right? So that's why it is called. So now these parameters are utilized to find it out the relative and absolute coordinate of a point. So our main objective is what? Main objective is to locate a point on a earth, right? So how can you locate a point on earth? Basically, if you find it out all these measurements of this length, means maybe if you find out latitude and longitude, then you can tell this point latitude and longitude with respect to some astronomical equations, or with respect to or earth's rotation is, earth's unit area is that much, that location, right? So these parameters basically are utilized basically to find it out the reference point. So definition of surveying you understood, right? Our main objective is to measure the horizontal length, vertical length, as well as the elevations, angles, all these things we are measuring on an art surface. Okay. So that is our definition of surveying. So now let's see the how surveying is important for the civil engineers. Okay. So as we know, in civil engineering, what we do, our primary objective is to construct the structures. So before construction of structures, we have to understand how much plot area we have. We have to make the plans, right? So whether the entire ground is flat or not, or maybe some portion there will be lakes, right? Then we have to feel it, right? So to have a proper understanding about the entire area and how much area we have, 150 square area, 200 square area, how much area we have, 2 acre, 5 acre, how much area, so that we have to measure it out before any construction, right? So that is very much important. So that's why surveying is very much important for the civil engineers, and this is the very basic. So before starting any project, our first job will be one to find the measurement. So that's why surveying is very basic for the civil engineers. Even during the construction stage also, once the plans are ready, after that also, when the construction starts, like when we make the beams, columns, staircases, everything, that time also we have to take so many measurements, right? Like all beams will be parallel to each other, or columns may be parallel to each other, vertical parallel to each other. So to make all these things possible, we have to, that time also we use surveying to make all these measurements. So now importance, let's see the planning and design of civil engineering projects such as constructions of highways, bridge, tunnel, dam, etc. are based upon surveying measurements. Now you can imagine if we have to construct a road, highway roads, that also comes under civil engineering, right? So highway roads, you have to find out the alignment, right? In which area the roads will pass. So that alignment you have to find out through surveying only. So moreover, during execution of project, as I mentioned, when you execute the project, means on field, when you construct a building, the building's line, for example, this is the area you have. So this is the plan area. You can imagine we have a plot here. This is entire plot. Now you want to construct a building here at the center. Maybe at this location you have to find it out. So this line should be parallel to this line, right? Both the lines should be parallel to this line. So you have to make the horizontal distance from this point to this point, how much it is, and this point to this point, how much it is, right? These two horizontal, if the both horizontal angle distance are same, then you can imagine, then you can consider this line and this line both are parallel, right? So even during the construction phase also we use surveying. So other principal works which survey primarily uses to fix the national boundaries, right? As we have Indian boundary, Pakistan, Bangladesh, then nearby all the countries have some boundaries, right? To fix the boundaries where a boundary line will pass. So for that also we need to do survey to chart the coastal lines, navigable streams, lakes, etc. So all these, on India, in South India we have big coastal lines, right? To demarcate the coastal lines, we have to do surveying to establish the control points. As I mentioned, in always, every point, in every region there will be a control point. Control point means, so that point, or we know the reference, like what is the latitude and longitude. True latitude and longitude we know for the particular region. So by considering this as our absolute point, then we make, for example, let me give you a small example here. So I'll take some of the color. So for example, this you consider it as the entire Hyderabad city, maybe although it may not be rectangle, but consider it. So you want to construct a building here, maybe different shape, construction, you have to do it. So all these measurements, you have to do it, right? So what is the elevation of Hyderabad, means from mean sea level, what is the height, we don't know, right? So different point of Hyderabad will have different mean sea elevation height, and again we don't know what is there. So what we'll do is, one government authority is there, it's Survey of India. Survey of India. So they have office also in Hyderabad, in all the region, all the Indian big cities, right? So what they will do, Survey of India is a office by government of India. Basically what they will do, they find it, they establish the control points. Control point means at Hyderabad, some location they have some small point, means small points they have. In that point they know what is the latitude and longitude and what is the mean sea level height from this point. Like that, in each city all over the India, basically this type of control points are established, and from considering this as a reference point, we now make our structures nearby in any location in Hyderabad, by always considering this as our primary objective. Okay, primary references. So that is also an important thing. So to establish the control points, we need to do surveying, right? To establish this point also we have to do surveying. Then to execute the hypographic and oceanographic uh, charts and mapping, right? So we have the oceanographic charts mapping, we need to do surveying, then we have to make the, if we want to make topography maps, means where we have the lakes, where we have the hills, and right. So some maps you will find it shows where we have the rivers, where we have the hills, where we have the valleys. So that basically topography map. So for preparing the topography map also we have to do surveying before that. So now you can understand how important surveying is for the civil engineers. So next we have the objective of surveying. So importance we understood now. So what is our main objective in surveying? Basically to collect the data. Basically we are finding out like locations, angles between 2 points, right? So basically we are collecting the data from the field, and then we prepare the plan or the map of a area which we want to survey. So plan and map, what is the difference between plan and map? So plan is basically, in a small area, when the scale is very large, there we construct the plan. Whereas map, for example, enter in India map, or maybe enter Asia map, Europe map. So in that case, the scale will be very small and enter boundaries and all. When you want to show a small scale, big area, then we use map. Whereas when you want to show the small area, then the scale will be very high. So for example, to construct a building, we normally make the plans, right? So building area is very small compared to entire country area. So that's why buildings construction we use plan, whereas to demarcate the Indian boundary or Pakistan boundary or any country's boundary, we use maps. So this is our second objective. Basically, first objective is to collect the data from the field. Second objective is to prepare the plan and the maps, or the maps whichever is required in any case. So to analyze and to calculate the field parameters for setting out operations of actual engineering works. Because now for example you have the plan, now you want to construct a building, right, according to the plan. So to construct the plan, again we need to have, because as I mentioned earlier, like in this parallel boundary line we have to make it. In that case also we use this surveying. To setting out the field parameters at site for the further engineering works also we use, that is the main objective of surveying. So now let's see the different divisions of surveying. So what is the division of surveying? So now you can imagine, the earth is basically spherical, right? So our earth shape is something like that, spherical. It is not exactly circle. It is something like this type of thing, spherical thing. So actual earth surface is not flat, right? As we see from outside, if you see nearby, you will find that earth surface is flat. But if you see from the global perspective, the earth is actually spherical, right? It is not flat earth, right? So when you make the measurements, so which one will you take? Will you take the earth as a curved surface, or will you consider earth as a flat surface? That is our concern, because in reality earth is not flat, right? It is a spherical. But but in nearby, if you see, you will feel that earth is flat, right? Because of we are looking at a very narrow scale. So now for surveying, which one will you consider? Will you consider, because our main objective is what? To find out the distance between 2 points, angles between, between what, 3 points maybe. So our objective is to find out distance between 2 points, but that distance, whether it is a horizontal distance or it is a curved distance, because originally our earth is basically a curved surface, right? Not the flat surface. So now if we, so what our surveying standard says, standard says, if you, for example, if you want to construct a plan means a small area, right? 100 meter by 100 meter area we are constructing a building. So if the area is small, then the even the curve also looks like flat, right? Or we can consider curve as a flat surface also, error won't be much. So if the area is small for surveying, in that case we can consider this curve area as a flat area. But if you want to construct a map for the India, or maybe a large scale map you want to construct, where the curvature of earth you have to consider it in that case, if the area is long, huge area. So that's why depending on the application of surveying, we can classify the surveying into two parts. One is geodetic surveying, another is plane surveying. What is geodetic surveying? So this is the branch of surveying where the true shape of the earth is taken into consideration. Means the spherical shape of the earth is considered. That is, we call it geodetic surveying. But in normal day-to-day practice, when we do the plans of structures or plan of small projects and all, there this curvature of earth may not be required to consider. So in that case, the mean surface of earth is considered as a plane surface, and we do the construction, and we do the surveying. So that is primarily our earth. As our earth is spherical, if you have the big projects, then you have to consider about the spheric shape of the earth. But if you are doing a small level surveying, in that case plane surveying, we do basically we consider the earth as a flat, and then we do the surveying. So basically there are two divisions in surveying. So now in surveying, so mostly we do plane surveying, right, for the civil engineering purpose, because we construct some projects, infrastructure projects, which are not in large scale, maybe and not in a country scale, right, in a city scale maybe. So it is a very small project. So in that case, we normally mostly we use plane surveying, not the geodetic surveying. Although geodetic surveying also required when we want to construct the topographic map of a region, or the entire country topography map you want to do. In that case, your geodetic surveying also required. So let's understand what is the fundamental assumptions of plane surveying, because in this course, or primarily we do plane surveying more compared to geodetic surveying. So what are the assumptions we consider? All distance and directions are horizontal, right? That is our fundamental assumption of plane surveying. Means our 2 point, if you this is 1 point, this is another point, if you want to measure the distance between 2 point, sorry, 2 point, this distance may be 5 meter, right? This is, for example, 5 meter. So in that case, basically, you know this line is a horizontal line, not a curvy line. That's what our plane surveying, right? Basically this is a flat earth we are considering. So this line is a horizontal line, not a curvy line. So that is your first assumption. Second assumption, the direction of plumb line is same as all point within the limit of the surveying. So what is plumb line? Plumb line is basically, we have, if you suspend, so we have an instrument called plumb bob. Plumb bob is, this is a wire, and this type of things like solid things will be there. It will be suspended on this wire. So that always towards the gravity, right? Because this is a iron body. This portion is iron conical shape, and this is suspended on a wire. So always if you hang it somewhere, always the direction of this one will be towards the gravity, right? So now for the small scale, right, this is our actual earth, right, spherical earth. But this plumb line will be different, right? If you suspend this plumb bob here, then the direction will be here. But if you suspend the plumb bob here, then the direction will be here, right? If you suspend the plumb bob here, then the gravity will be acting towards this direction, right? So plumb line for geodetic surveying is not parallel, right? It will have different directions. Whereas we are considering in a plane surveying. Plane surveying means we are considering a small area on a earth. Means this portion we can consider it as a plane line. So in that case, the plumb bob in entire area will be in a parallel. So that is our this assumption. The direction of plumb line is same at all points within the limit of the surveying. So that is our plane surveying. We are considering a small point where all the plumb lines will be parallel to each other. Not yeah, all will be parallel to each other. So now all angles, both horizontal and vertical, are plane angles, right? We're considering everything is plane. So horizontal angle you want to measure, like you have 2 points. One point is here, here, right? 3 points are there. So you want to find out this angles between these 2 points. So this is also horizontal angle, right? In a plane angle, basically in a same plane. So the plane is same plane, basically we are measuring the angle. Similarly, if you want to find it out the height of a structure. So this is a structure, you want to find it out this height, elevation, right? This theta you want to find it out. So this angle is also a plane angle, right, in a vertical direction. So this is also our another assumption. Now the fifth assumption is elevations with reference to the datum line. Okay, so these are the four assumptions we have in the plane surveying. Okay, So next we'll see the classifications of surveying. So classification surveying based on our purposes, which uses we use, for which purpose we use the surveying, we classify into different categories of surveying. First one is control surveying. Control surveying, as I mentioned, that Survey of India is there for India, right? That is a government agency which is responsible to setting up the points, control points in Hyderabad and in all the cities, right? In Hyderabad also we have a particular location where the exact latitude and longitude we know. So now if you want to find out the another point latitude and longitude, then we have to take the reference from this original one, and with reference to original one, how we find it out, we establish the new points, right? So this control survey is one type to establish the horizontal and vertical control points. Next one is land surveying. Land surveying is to determine the boundaries of areas, boundaries or areas of parcel of land. Like we have the land properties, right? Property survey we do before construction of any survey, or the boundary survey. All these things comes under land survey. If you find it out, if you use surveying to identify the borders or boundaries of area, then we use land surveying. Then topography surveying, basically when we want to locate the hills or the valleys or man-made structure, anything, uh, uh, in that case basically we use topographic surveying. Engineering surveying. So engineering surveying basically to collect the data for planning, design, execution of engineering projects. So three broad steps. Basically in the engineering surveys we do explore the site condition and availability of infrastructure, that we call it reconnaissance survey. Next we have the preliminary survey and the location survey. So we in engineering survey there are the three separate subheadings. So these things we do in the engineering survey. Then we have the road survey. Road survey means if you want to construct highways or a train line or a metro line. So in that case, we do a road survey. Means in the road areas we find it out that you want to construct canals, or you want to lay down the pipelines for drainage or water supply treatment plant. In that case, we use road survey. Then we have the construction survey. Construction survey is like once you have the plan and design of the structure, then you want to execute it, right? Inside you have to construct the structure. In that case, while constructing also, like to make the boundaries parallel or to make the columns parallel, we find it out small lines from the reference boundary line. In that case we call it construction survey. So during construction phase also we use surveying, that is basically construction survey. Then astronomic survey, so to determine the latitude and longitude and the azimuth angle, right, from the astronomical observation, then we call it astronomical survey, right? From the from the sky, if we know any particular direction of any like for example Mars or the Saturn, or Jupiter, anything. So with respect to that, if you identify any particular point, in that case we call it is the astronomical survey. Then we have the mine survey, basically to carry out the surveying specified for the underground mining process purposes. If you do, then we call it as a mine survey. So like there is a different types of classifications of surveying depending on our use. Basically we choose which surveying we want to do it. So control survey is basically to establish the points on the surface. Land surface, if you want to do planning for land area and all. Topography means you have to identify the hills and all. Engineering survey means basically what we do, you know then road survey, construction of roads, railways, all these things. We need road surveys, construction surveys, astronomical and mining surveys. So these are different classifications of surveying. So that is also very much important. So now next we have the principles of surveying. So now see, gradually we are driving into our topic. So initially we have seen what is the definition of surveying, and then we have seen how surveying is important for civil engineers. What is the objective, right? What is the classifications? What is the divisions of surveying? Now we are into principles of surveying. So when you do a surveying, so this is the area you can see, imagine. So this is the latitude, longitude scales are there. You can see. So you are asked to do the surveying, right? What are the principles we will do it? So this is, you can imagine, this is a very big area, right? It is 72 and 76. So 2-degree latitude longitude change, right? In this direction 4-degree change. That means you can imagine this entire length is basically almost 220 kilometer length. So this entire length is 220 kilometer. You can imagine how big it is. Similarly, this is also maybe 500 kilometer, you know, long. So it's a huge length. So now this entire area you are asked to survey in the sense you have to find out where you have the mountains, where you have the hills, right? This topographic survey where you want to do it. So in that case, what you will do, So someone, we have the control point, as I mentioned. Control point means the these points, latitude, longitude, elevation, everything you know, that is set by government of India. This location we have the control point. So with this reference to this point, now we have to make the surveying of entire area. So what principle we follow? So the fundamental principle to follow is, starting from here, what we make this entire big area into small parts. Not we won't do from here to this like that progressively. We won't go. What we make is entire area into small parts we make. So this is one part, this is another part, like that part we make. Now from this control point, we find out what is the latitude and longitude of this point. Next we find out what is the latitude or longitude of this point. So all these grid points now maybe we are finding out. Okay, so our principle is basically, not from 45, from middle point to here, like that we are not finding. What we make is entire area, we make it into different parts, and from these parts, basically, this point, once you know the longitude and latitude of this point, now again, this entire area you divide it into small part, and with reference to this point, again, you find what is the latitude of this point, latitude of this point, like that you do it. So our main objective is working from whole to part. Whole to part means this is entire whole to we make it parts, small parts, and we do it. Why we do that like that? Because so that we can reduce the errors. Okay, because 45 here, now if we make what is the control point here with respect to this, then the error will be less, right? But if you want to find your 45 here, then you find what is here error, what is the latitude longitude point at this point, next year, like that. If you go, what will happen is, if you have a small error here also, this error will be accumulated in entire chain. So that's why always we do whole two parts, entire whole thing we make it into small parts, and then we do it. That is our first principle, fundamental principle, right? After deciding the position of any point, its reference point must be kept from at least two permanent objects or stations whose positions have already been identified, right? So once you know this point, so from entire, from this is the control point, so from there we find out what is this point, latitude, what is the longitude, this point, like that, all points you find it out. So once you know this point and this point, now new point you want to establish at this point. So new point you want to establish at this point, so you know what is the latitude longitude of this point also you know. So easily you find it out what is the new point latitude and longitude. So like that we do. So that is our principle of surveying. The purpose, from whole to part, right? Whole means entire part, to basically we do part thing, right? Entire area we make it this type of grid, and then first from 45 from this reference point we find out is the latitude longitude of all the grid points. Once you know all latitude longitude of all the grid points, now with reference to this grid point we find out other points nearby to this grid point. So for that, basically we can localize the errors. If we have any error while measuring, that error will be localized to here. So this error won't affect here this area, because this you have the another grid point you have considered. This grid point is established from the original point, right? So that's why that is our principle, basically whole to part. It is very much important for surveying. So now let's see few things like a reference point. Now if you want to find out a new reference point on a site, how will you do it? So for example, here you know what is the location of z, this point, and you know what is the location of this point y on earth. Now you want to find out a new point x. So how we can do that? So basically we can take a big tape and define what is the distance from here to here, horizontal, exactly horizontal distance. Similarly from here, this point, again you take another tape and find out the distance. So once you know L1 and L2 and these 2 points, then easily we can locate what is the new point x. So this is one way you can locate a new point. Now another way to locate the new point is, once you know y and x, y and z, these 2 points you know, so make the perpendicular line with this. Okay, make the perpendicular line with this, and from there and you draw another perpendicular line from this perpendicular line. Then you can easily get it here, right? So for that, what you need is a perpendicular line between these 2 points. Basically this angle, once you know this angle and this length, then easily you can locate what is the new point x. So this is another way to locate a new point. So see, always we are locating with respect to reference point, means z and y we know. Now we are finding out x. Similarly here also z and y we know, we are finding out x. So this z and y we call it control point. That's what I said. That, like for example in Hyderabad also, this kind of, this is survey of India, government organization, they establish these points, control points. So from there basically we find it out the new points with reference to this control points. Similarly here also, if you have, so if you have a new point, if you have known points z and y, you know what is the latitude longitude of z, you know what is the latitude longitude of y. Now you want to find out what is the latitude and longitude of this point, x point. In that case, another way you can do that is find out how much angle it is making. So this angle basically theta you are making, and what is the length. So once you know theta and l, you can easily locate what is x, right? So this is another way to do that. Now this is referencing at a point using the distance and the object. So similarly z and y, you know what you can do is you can find out this angle, what is this angle, right, which intersects these two lines. What is this angle and what is this length? Once you know theta and l, then also you can find out what is the location of x. So this is another way. So like that, multiple ways here I am showing how you can establish a new point. So this is like you have only instrument which can measure only angles. You don't have, you know, tape or a chain, something like that, so you cannot measure the length. You can only measure angle. So in that case, what will you do? For example, you are on a site where the tape you had that is somehow damaged. Now you cannot use the tape. Then what will you do? So you want to construct a new point here. In that case, you have only an instrument which can measure the angle. So measure what is this angle, what is this angle, and if you know these two angle, you will easily set what is the value of x, right? What is the location of x? Like these two lines are intersecting at that point, basically you have the x, right? So if you know what is theta 1 and theta 2, then also you can locate what is the x on a plane. So our main objective is basically to measure the locations or distances, angles on site, and ultimately we make the plans means on a paper, basically we draw these points. So in real field, we take measurements from the real field and then we draw it on a paper, right? We prepare the plans on maps. That is our objective in the surveying. So in the surveying, basically our objective is to make the maps, like we have the Google map, right, in mobile, or something building plans. So that is, we have to do it in this course. So now the final part in surveying introduction is the operations in surveying. Now we understand what is the definition of surveying. We understand what is the divisions, what is the principles, what is the objective of surveying, and we have seen in the last slide also how we can measure a new site, new point on a on a earth surface. So now we'll see what is the operations in surveying. So when you do surveying, how will you proceed for it from the beginning? First step is planning step. So in the planning step, what you do? In the planning step, the methods to be adopted. First, you know this entire area. Now, which method you will adopt depending on the area. For example, you want to know, if you want to survey a small area like buildings, plants, and all, then you will have some type of method. But if you want to prepare a map for entire Hyderabad or maybe entire India, so in that case, you will have some other method to adopt. So first, you have to find it out which method you want to adopt. That is depending on which type of survey you are doing. That is first planning. Second is the resources, like which instrument you need, that you have to first gather, right? Third is control point, the control point we have it or not. So these three things are required in during the planning phase, right? First we have to find out which method we are using, then what are the instruments required to do that type of surveying, and lastly what are the control points we have. So once we have these three things ready, then we go to field, and then we collect the field data, means all these distances, angles, all these things we measure it on a field, and we record these observations, like what we get the distances and all, on a diary. In a systematic manner we do it. That is field observation. First is planning step, then is field observation we do, and then we come to our office and we have, in a diary we written all the distances and angles and all in a systematic manner, right? So from there basically we process it, we analyze it, and we calculate the observation data. We prepare the maps now on an office. Okay, in office we come and then we make the preparation of all necessary data we do, and then we make the map of entire area. Then fourth step is computation of relevant field of parameters for the design of setting out the engineering works. Now if you want to construct a building, then you make the building plans. Now if you want to construct a map, a topography map, then you do it in large scale topography map, small scale topography map, something like that. and the fourth step is setting out the works. So now then this plan will be given to the respective stakeholder for the next progress. So this is basically the flow chart of any surveying. So the first step is planning step. We plan what are the things we need to do, then we go to field and we do the observations, and then we again come back to our office and we process the data whatever we gathered from the field, and we make the plans, and lastly this plan will be handed over to the stakeholder who needs the plan, and then the work will be executed. So this is the basic step of surveying, and that's we completes our introduction to surveying. So here what we have discussed what is surveying, the definition of surveying, and then we have seen the divisions of surveying, we've seen the principles, we've seen the importance of surveying, we've seen the different classifications of surveying, and lastly we have seen the operations of surveying. So this concludes our lecture 1. Thank you.